Hi, this is Charles Vinson, or Akaboo69, as you know me on YouTube, whatever. I mainly do a lot of guitar demo stuff, but today we're going to talk about the new Black Sabbath album. I want to review that. I think it'd be kind of cool to do this kind of video. I've never done this before. The album is called 13, which would make sense. It came out in the year 2013, which is this year right now. And we're going to talk about this new album. The first track on there is called Into the Beginning, and it just really has that ominous Sabbath feel. The song definitely reminds me of Black Sabbath meets Dirty Women, kind of the two merged in one, so you kind of hear pretty much just, how do I explain it? You hear, a crossing and a merging of styles over the years that Sabbath has been around, and Tony really does a good job of putting that song together, and it's really cool actually. And the solo is really good, and the outro solo is awesome, very reminiscent of Dirty Women. Okay, the next song, God Is Dead? Question mark. The clean riff sounds like it could be on a Dio era or Ozzy era Sabbath song. It's kind of just got that Iommi flair, obviously, and it sounds really cool. Then it goes into the heavy intro riff, which is similar to Snowblind, but not quite, and it's very doomy. I like it. And the song picks up in the middle, gets faster. It's very reminiscent of Hole in the Sky, where he picks up the pace. And the solo of the song is not the greatest, but honestly, I think he was holding back on purpose. The song is more about the riffs, and the solo is more of a filler. Ozzy's vocals in the song, they're decent, but they kind of bored me, I won't lie. At the same time, I know he's getting old, and the high ranges is harder for him to hit. But he still does a good job with what he has. Loner, pretty cool track. I saw somebody comment online that it reminds me of something off Mob Rules, and I kind of hear that. It does kind of got that kind of feel. It's upbeat, but also reminds me of NIB to a degree. But it's a good song, and the solo on this song definitely has a similar flair to the solo in the song Voodoo. And then we go to Zeitgeist, which is like Planet Caravan Part 2. Pretty much. It's the same feel, similar storyline. I think, it's about a guy going through space. I don't think he's in love with anyone in this song. I think it's just him going through space himself. I don't think there's a girl with him in the story. But musically, it's like Planet Caravan meets Pink Floyd. It's a pretty cool song. It has a great jazzy blues solo at the end. Definitely pays homage to that Planet Caravan song. Age of Reason starts out with the drums, and it has a really killer intro riff. Kind of reminds me of this one riff in Children of the Sea right before the solo break. It goes into a riff that's very similar to that, and this song kind of reminds me of that. The main verses, though, definitely sound like your early classic 70s Sabbath. Very bluesy, very rocky. It sounds awesome. And the song's got a lot of changes in it, too. It's pretty progressive, actually. Not so much with the time signatures, because the time signature is pretty standard. But just with all the different riff phrasing and the different verses, you got this cool doom riff, and it makes me think of, as weird as it might sound, even though Black Sabbath coined the doom sound, there's this riff in the middle of the song. It makes me think of some of Candlemass's stuff, actually. I like it. And then the last verse of the song is very reminiscent of anything you would hear on Volume 4. And then the solo is freaking awesome, the best solo on the album. All the solos are good, but this is one of the best solos on the album. Iommi really lets loose, which is great because he did hold back a lot in the earlier Sabbath days. But not on this album. He definitely shows off what he can do. And the outro solo just makes me think of something you would hear off like Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules or something like that. It's just a really good solo, and I love it. And then we go to Live Forever, which I haven't listened to a whole lot, but it is a good song. It's nothing special. It's just your typical Sabbath rocker. Very bluesy. Sounds like something you'd probably hear off Sabotage. The chorus riff, though, has kind of got a modern flair to it, which is cool. And then we go to Damaged Souls, which is definitely just a straight-up blues jam, but it's kind of a melodic blues jam. Like the melody Ozzy's singing is definitely very melancholic. It's got a lot of emotion behind it. It's definitely a dark sounding song, but it's bluesy at the same time. And Ozzy does some really cool harmonic work on the harmonica, and then you got the solos from Iommi on this thing. The leads are immaculate on this track as well, comparable to Age of Reason. Also, we go to Dear Father, which is more of a modern sounding Sabbath. Sounds like the riffs honestly sound like something that might have been on The Devil You Know, which is the last album Iommi put out with Heaven and Hell, which to me is just another form of Black Sabbath. It's Black Sabbath Mark II or whatever you want to call it. And which is really cool. I like that this song has got a very modern feel to it. And then we go to Methodemic. It's got a little acoustic intro, and then the song picks up pace. Once again, it's a very modern sounding song. Sounds like something that would have been on like The Devil You Know or Dehumanizer. It's just got that kind of feel. Or even Cross Purposes. It sounds like the later Sabbath, the post-Ozzy stuff. But you got Ozzy singing over it, which makes it really cool. So you got that modern Sabbath sound, but Ozzy is the main forefront. And there's Pariah. That's a pretty cool song. It's not my favorite. It's got a nice little clean intro. And it's a decent song, but I can see why it's definitely one of the bonus tracks. It's not one of the stronger songs on the album, I'll be honest. It's okay. And then we have Peace of Mind, which it's okay, you know, it's nothing special. It definitely sounds like an early Sabbath song, but it sounds like something that would be a B-side, which it pretty much is a B-side, and I can tell why. Not that it's bad, but it could have been better. But overall, it's a strong album. It's not their greatest work, but it's not their worst. It's definitely right there in the middle. I think it's a killer record. I would go buy it and try to see them live if you get a chance. And I guess that's about it. Rate, subscribe, and eventually I'll bring you more guitar demo stuff. Later.